if you've never been there, then I won't ask you if you've ever been to Derriere's nightclub.
Ooh, Derriere's.
Mhm.
Derriere's.
Which, by the way, I feel like Wisconsin needs to get
Wisconsin has Cruise and Chubby's.
I know,
I don't
but
think they need a Derriere's.
Derriere. So it's like perfect.
Dairy. Well,
That's what I'm
Derriere. Smell that Derriere.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he arrived at the joke.
Also,
No.
don't smell that Derriere.
Well,
Oof.
dumb people doing dumb things. We'd love to tell you about them on the Colleen and Bradley Show. My Talk 1071, streaming live at mytalk1071.com. Everything Entertainment. Colleen Lindstrom, Bradley Trainer.
Hello.
Hello. And these are your crazy, stupid idiots.
Well then, I guess one could say, that's a crazy, stupid idiot. Colleen and Bradley present CSI. It stands for Crazy Stupid Idiots.
It sure does. Why? Well, because the world is full of crazy, stupid idiots. Dumb people doing dumb things repeatedly over and over again, oftentimes in the state of Florida.
Like where, Bradley?
Florida!
Yay!
I want to tell you about two individuals, and their names are Shanita Jones and Courtney Wilson. Now, like many couples, they arrived at a place where they felt like it was time for them to come together in holy matrimony. Get married, I think, is the colloquial way to put that, right?
Correct. Congratulations to the happy couple.
Yes. So they began checking out wedding venues like most couples do.
Mm-hmm.
And they settled on a beautiful, 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 beautiful wedding venue, like ridiculously beautiful, in a place called Southwest Ranches, Florida. Well, it was like this $5.7 million estate with 7.2 acres.
Wow.
I mean, this thing, like, insanely beautiful. They brought together tons of people for this big wedding, because it's a lot of room.
Yeah.
And it took a while, I guess, for them to do all the planning. They visited the location several times before the actual wedding.
I mean, you'd want to do that.
Right?
Yeah. When you're doing your wedding planning, you want to make sure you visit a few times so you kind of know the lay of the land.
Exactly.
Because you're planning.
Yeah,
so
man.
The estate,
It's a plan.
The estate, which features a 16,000 square foot 9-bedroom home.
Oofed.
Like,
how many bathrooms though? Like 12? 12 to 20?
That's a great question. I don't know, but what I can tell you is that it has a grand ballroom, a 2-story gentleman's bar. I don't know what that is. A bar that's 2 stories for gentlemen.
Okay. I mean, are they tall?
Must be.
I'm guessing.
A movie theater, a 2-lane bowling alley,
gosh.
pool, tennis court, dance studio. Again, perfect venue for a wedding.
Yes.
Like, you can do all sorts of stuff. They sent out wedding invitations and gave the address. Everybody showed up on Saturday.
This all sounds like what one would do. You would want to tell the guests where to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's only one problem. They never rented the venue.
They just showed up?
They
were
literally
like, hi, we're going to get married here?
Showed up and began having a wedding. Now, there's an even bigger problem with that.
What's that?
This is not a wedding venue.
It's somebody's house?
It's somebody's house. And the somebody who lives in the house looked out the window on Saturday afternoon to see a bunch of people arrive on the grounds and begin to have a wedding.
Who? That is ballsy.
That is very ballsy. In fact, the home itself, and it gets ballsier, by the way, but according to the Sun Sentinel, Shalita Jones and Courtney Wilson plan to tie the knot at this $5.7 million estate, currently owned by an heir to the lucrative IHOP restaurant franchise.
Stop.
Yes, Mr. IHOP.
Mr. IHOP.
Yeah, Mr. IHOP himself.
Wow.
And, I don't know.
You did not tell me it was a house of pancakes.
Well, it's the house that Pancakes built. And boy, those pancakes.
Oof.
Anyway, here's you might have questions like how
I have
what
so many questions.
right? Well, I can tell you that Mr. I think his name is Finkel, Nathan Finkel lives in the home. And so on April 17th, he calls 911 and is like, I don't know, but people are trespassing on my property. And apparently he was told by the couple that it was, quote, God's message to them that they be married at that home. So I don't know if that's like a you don't have to pay if God says you're supposed to get married
I
there.
mean, that's
Is that a thing?
one way of going about things, I guess.
So all of a sudden, like, obviously the police had to be called, etc. But then back it up. And remember, I told you that they checked out the venue several times.
Right. So then how did that happen?
Yeah. Like, how did they not do two and two together? Well, the house is for sale. And so the couple posed as
okay,
people.
because I'm thinking they're like tiptoeing around the
like,
property, being like, boop, boop, boop.
Nope. In fact, the house is for sale and they pretended to be prospective buyers.
Oh my word.
And while they were prospective buying the house, they were taking notes and they thought that because the house was being sold, that nobody was living there. And so that they would show up and nobody would be there.
Can we let's walk through this also, this piece of the pie? When a $7.25 million home, they don't just they don't have open houses.
Yeah.
They're not just letting, and you got to run a credit check just to show up.
Oh, I'm sure.
Price upon request.
Exactly. On the first peep. So they saw it multiple times. And wouldn't you think the realtor, because they don't just let you wander through the house unassisted, don't you think the realtor would be like, I'm sorry, what are you talking about? A dance? What are you talking about? A band? What do you mean caterers?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think they would ask some?
Well, no, and I will say at one point when he was on his, prospective house buying tour, he was like, "Hey, could we ever have a wedding here?" And Mr. Finkel was like, "Yeah, no." And he's like, "Okay." But then they went ahead and printed the invitations, and by the way, on the invitations itself, it says the Wilsons Estate.
Oh,
it's not their estate.
Oof.
But can you imagine the awkwardness of like being like you show up to this place and you're like, whoa,
fancy.
This is you guys.
I didn't know you guys have done pretty well for yourselves.
Glad I ordered the steak.
Well, exactly.
This is so bizarre.
So anyway, the police were called to report everybody for trespassing. That's when he told them it was God's message that they should hold the wedding on that property. And he says, I've got people trespassing on my property. And they keep harassing me, calling me. They said they have a wedding here and it's God's message. I don't know what's going on. All I want is for it to stop. And they're sitting on my property right at the front gate now. 2 officers responded, told them not to come back. No charges were ever brought against the couple. And they didn't want to talk about it when asked by reporters.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
The reporters called in and were like, can we get a comment? And they were like, I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. What I love is that they thought like, oh, nobody's going to be home. We'll just go do it. That's some
bulls.
Yes, some bulls.
Ballsy. You. Okay. That was in Florida. For our next story, we are going to South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Never been.
We are going, well, if you've never been there, then I won't ask you if you've ever been to Derriere's nightclub.
Ooh, Derriere's.
Mm-hmm. Derriere's.
Which, by the way, I feel like Wisconsin needs to get...
Wisconsin has Cruise and Chubbies.
I know.
I don't think they need a Derriere's.
Derriere? So it's like perfect.
Derry. Well, Derriere. Smell that Derriere.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he arrived at the joke.
Also,
no.
Don't smell that Derriere.
Well, oof. What had happened at Derriere's nightclub in South Carolina is the following. Kyle Yeomans, he's 23 years old. He was enjoying an evening at the nightclub, and he got frustrated because a dancer at the nightclub at Derriere's Gentlemen's Club was, quote, annoying him. And she, quote, kept trying to talk to him. And he was, quote, tired of it.
Isn't that that what they're supposed to do?
No, you
Isn't
know
that what he was there for?
For talking, no.
Okay, but fine. He didn't want her to talk. He was like more dancey,
like,
less
shh,
talky, I think. Like,
don't talk.
shh, quiet. No words.
It's like a library inside voices.
With boobies.
But he didn't like that she kept on trying to talk to him. And so he, rather than just say, like, I'm not interested, thank you,
Move along.
move along, he told the dancer that she should go to the gym and lose some weight. Oh, no.
I don't feel like that's
No.
appropriate.
Not only is it inappropriate, but it's going to make somebody real angry
Well, yeah, I kind of feel like the stripper might have had a word or two to respond with.
with her hands.
Oh.
She, quote, reached off the stage and struck him 4 times in the facial area.
Mhm.
And then he was dragged out of Derriere's by bouncers who were unnecessarily rough with him.
My God, Derriere's.
17 hours later, Mr. Yeomans decided, I got to tell somebody about this. So he dialed the 911s.
He dialed 911. Oh.
And he let them know that he had some injuries that he had sustained at the hands of a dancer at Derriere's nightclub. And they said, would you like to press charges against her? And he said, no, I just want a report to be filed. I just want people to know that the dancer at Derriere nightclub tried to beat me up. He does admit that he was intoxicated.
I was going to say,
Okay,
you
there
were,
we go.
you were
Mm.
drunk
Yeah.
and you offended the lady.
Mhm.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Maybe
But
that's when you just sober up and go, you know what? That was not my best
that
work.
wasn't-
No,
In
no.
fact, I'm going to
shouldn't
send a
have
little
done that.
note over to Barb. What's her name?
Barb McCracken at Derriere's
No,
nightclub.
her name is not Barb McCracken.
At Derriere's.
It is. Her
No,
name
it's
is
not.
Barb.
It's like Candy McCracken.
Yeah, you send a
you're
note
right. Sorry, it's Candy McCracken.
with an I.
Yes.
So I would just send her a note and be like, you know what? Didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Was kind of out of my mind that night.
hmm
And
You're
I
a
wish
great
you all the
dancer.
best. You look great.
Have a great
Mhm.
time.
And
I'll see you again, and don't tase me.
was she going to tase him?
No, I just, I just feel like you got to throw everything at that apology, because that was rude. That was not the way to react when you
Yeah,
don't
well,
want a
I
dancer
feel like
talking to you.
also you don't want to tick off a dancer who's wearing probably loose-side heels
Yeah.
that could stab your face.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going there.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Also, she's got
respectful.
Or like the
moves.
bouncer. Like, I feel like a bouncer would get involved. Because I feel like
He did. They did. They threw him out of Derriere's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they roughed him up
They excreted him.
from Derriere's.
He was released.
He was.
Gotta
He was
be
pushed out.
They pushed him out of Derriere's.
gotta be respectful.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That's all, folks.